I would be lying if I told you that this was a bad year for movies. Yes, there were some absolute stinkers this year, but it still had a lot of great ones. I think the main reason that most people think of 2016 as a bad year for movies is that the movies that were bad were some of the worst in years. But luckily I managed to stay away from most of the horrible ones. But still I saw the worst one of them according to Rolling Stone, and that makes me sad. Not because I don't agree with them like so many people do, but because I watched that shit.
Really bad.
Suicide Squad is one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Not a single thing works with this movie. The characters are all boring and you barely get to know a single thing about them. All the characters are lazily written, especially Katana, who literally has her backstory told through exposition by another character. Every single character sucks. Amanda Waller is just there to assemble the team and being the most unlikable character there is. But even though she's more or less a MacGuffin, she still has the most character. She's intelligent, calm, and a complete douchebag. Rick something is the most bland soldier I've ever seen and does nothing except falling in love. The Crocodile Man is a crocodile, and that's everything we get to know. Will Smith plays Will Smith, and he is the only character with a clear motivation. He wants to see his daughter again. I mean, if he wanted to be there for his daughter, he could have just stopped being a bad guy. He has the money. But, you know, it's fun to be bad or whatever. There's also this fireman that doesn't want to hurt anyone, but then he gets bullied, so he tries to kill Will Smith's character, and 10 minutes later he says that you're his family and sacrifices himself for the team, and his death makes no sense. But first, he could have just pushed the villain into the bomb, but instead he takes him with him into the area of effect. And also, why did he die from that? The guy is literally made of fire. How could he possibly die from disintegration if he's made of fire? And even with all those flaws, he is still not the worst character in this movie. Even with all his annoying choices and bad dialogue, he doesn't come close to the horror that is Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. She is horribly active, annoying, and has some of the most painful dialogue ever.
Love your perfume. What is that? The stench of death?
Every single scene, her accent changes.
Come on, do it! Love your perfume. What is that? The stench of death?
The way she talks makes me want to cut off my ears. And why is she even there? Her weapon of choice is a fucking bat. And also, let me add something. They established early on that the monsters they are fighting can't be killed by bullets. But then the writers remembered that two of their characters, that being Harley and Deadshot, rely on guns to take out these things, so they just forget about it and move on. What the hell? The Joker tries to rescue Harley through the whole movie, and he's barely in the movie, but yeah, they fuck him up too. Now, sure, maybe he comes back in another movie and is good, but in this movie they totally missed the mark. The Joker is a mad villain, an idea of anarchy. He loves to make confusion. He loves madness. He wants everyone to see the world just like him. In The Dark Knight they do him just right. They make him a villain that has one goal, to create chaos. It's not that hard to adapt this character. He's been in a lot of stuff and most adaptations get the core thing right. He's mad. So how the hell does this movie fail to make him mad? Instead, they make him just an eccentric character. And also, God, I hate the people that are so stupid that they say the relationship between Harley and the Joker is goals. It's Stockholm Syndrome, what the fuck? Harley is ill, and some stupid people are going, oh, they are so cute together, and also the Joker left her to die, and had it not been for Batfleck, she would have drowned. The only good character in this movie is Captain Boomerang, played by Jai Courtney. All he wants is to get out of jail. To get back into the big game, he enjoys the thrill of the chase, and can't imagine a life without it. Jai Courtney delivers his first great performance as Captain Boomerang, and he feels like a slimy little Aussie that plays mind games with the rest of the cast, and his banter is actually pretty good. He is the only character with good humor, and the one time I laughed in this movie was when he ran away. Not all the jokes works though, and they have this awful running gag about him having a fetish for pink unicorns. He has a stuffed unicorn with him at all times, and there's even one point where he gets stabbed by one of the monsters, and I went, so that's why he has the pink unicorn. But no, they failed to pay off by having money save him and not the unicorn, rendering the whole running gag pointless. But by far my favorite character of this movie has to be Slipknot, the guy that can climb anything. I see now that this has gone on for a little long. So here are some quick complaints. The action sucks. It's way too close up and it's hard to understand what is happening, especially because everything is so dark. But why? They say it's the middle of the day, but it's still so dark that I can barely see anything. The CGI sucks. The villain's plan makes no sense. There's black text on the screen over something dark, which makes it impossible to read. The geography of a battle is never established, so you never really get where anybody is. And last but not least, those weird rainbow effects. I give this movie a 0 out of 10.
With you in a minute.
I didn't want to see this movie, and no surprises here, the movie is bad. The only good things about this movie is that the animation is great, and that at least it's trying to be original, even though it's stupid. I have a review up on my channel of this movie that you could check out, but you won't. I was way too fucking nice to this movie. I'm glad all these animals are extinct. I will give this one a 1 out of 10.
Alice.
Alice, thank goodness you're finally here.
I'm glad that I chap-feed this movie. This movie had such potential with a good director that loves the material and a nice idea, but the execution is just a mess. This movie tries to be funny, but it fails. This movie tries to make the characters likable, but they're annoying. They try to make the villain menacing, but he's a joke. They try to bring back all the characters from the first one, and most of them are painful to watch. The CGI sucks, the story is all over the place, and the way that it all ties together in the end is insultingly bad. I would give this one a 1 out of 10 too, but it does have some great ideas, and it's pretty to look at. And what really makes this movie better than the two other ones is that it actually has a powerful message that made me appreciate the effort. This one gets a 2 out of 10.
Mr. Holmes, I do wish you'd let me know when you're planning to come home.
I hardly knew myself, Mrs. Hudson. That's the trouble with dismembered country squires. They're notoriously difficult to schedule.
2 out of 10.
Why can't you see the funny side? Why aren't you laughing?
The first 30 minutes of Batman the Killing Jokes is the worst piece of cinema I have ever seen. The second half follows the book and is pretty good, but since the first part was so awful, I can't put it higher than this. Check out my review if you want more details. I was also a little too nice with this one. This movie gets a 3 out of 10. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows tried to give some life to this franchise by bringing in all your favorite characters. This should have been an awesome movie, but it has way too many characters, and because of that none of them shine. Bebop and Rocksteady are fun when they're on screen, but they are barely in it because they have to share screen time with the annoying Krang, this policewoman, and the worst acting since the butler from Spider-Man 3. Shredder is actually a person in this one, but he has like 3 lines and he goes out like a total puss. The only positive with this movie is that the dynamic between the brothers is fun to watch and that the action is easy to follow. This movie gets a 3 out of 10. X-Men Apocalypse is one of the most boring, brainless and unoriginal movies in recent memories. Everything in this movie has been done before. There's not a single thing new about this movie, and it doesn't improve on anything. The Quicksilver scene was better in Days of Future Past, The Phoenix part was better in X2, and the over-the-top giant villain was much better in Batman and Robin. The only reason for this movie being so high is that Bryan Singer is a talented director and knows how to make a movie. Oh, and the script is decent, I guess. And the music is awesome. So basically, a lot to hate about this movie, but also some stuff to like. And it gets a 4 out of 10.
Make me lose with the unthinkable. Don't stop till you come first. Life's too unpredictable. Take control of what you're worth. Wasting time's forgivable.
20 years in Gotham, Alfred. We've seen what promises are worth. How many good guys are left? How many stayed that way?
Well, I just realized that I used the wrong microphone through the whole of this video, but I'm too lazy to fix it, so let's move on. Batman v Superman is not a bad movie. Yes, it does have a lot of flaws, like that the plot makes no sense, and that the fight between the characters is too short, or that the movie is overly long and seems to focus more on the future, and the editing is very weird, but it does have some good qualities. Batfleck was awesome, the music is amazing, the cinematography is beautiful, the CGI is good, and all the fight scenes that does not involve Batman fighting Superman are great. These qualities makes me look at this movie as just a mediocre flick, and that's why this movie gets a 5 out of 10.
And if he made it off that ship, he will come for us.
I am counting on it, Lieutenant Uhura.
Star Trek Beyond barely misses out on the top 10. It's a good movie that had me on the edge of my seat trying to solve all the pieces. This movie does not seem very original, and yes, you've probably heard this story before, but what they do with it is special. There were a lot of moments that made me smile out of joy because of how our heroes overcome their challenges. I also liked how there were some characters that got to spend more time with each other than usual, like Spot and Karl Urban, Uhura and Sulu, and Antoine Yelchin and Chris Pine. My only problem with this movie is that the last 15 minutes are kinda shit, and the first 5 minutes are nearly the exact same as the first 5 minutes of Into Darkness. Star Trek Beyond gets a 7 out of 10. Kung Fu Panda is over Star Trek because of one reason. It's one of the most beautiful movies I have ever seen. Now, I'm not going to talk a lot about this movie because it's nearly the exact same as the two first ones. This would have been a negative, but the other ones were good, which means that this one is also good. 7 out of 10.
The power that we are dealing with here is immeasurable.
I've already done a review on this movie, so I'll be quick. Rogue One is good, it's well directed, the visual effects are great, some of the characters are great, especially Director Krennic played by Ben Mendelsohn, and it fixes the biggest mistake of the Star Wars universe. But it does have a lot of problems like the music and the editing. This movie also gets a 7 out of 10. Doctor Strange is probably my favorite standalone Marvel movie to date. It's well written, well acted, has some great effects, is inventful, has some of the best action of this year, and left me wanting more. My problem with this movie is that the music is shit, and there's one reveal that feels a little rushed. This one also gets a 7.
So setting a pack of dangerous creatures loose here was just another accident. Is that right?
Why would I do it deliberately?
To expose wizard kind. To provoke war between the magical and non-magical worlds.
Mass slaughter for the greater good, you mean?
Yes.
Fantastic Beasts took me back to my favorite fictional world and managed to feel fresh and new. I liked most of the characters, the music is fantastic, and I have a review on this movie on my channel. 7 out of 10.
You're hunting ground for a few years and then one forgets how it works. Well, let me remind you, a man cub becomes man, and man is forbidden!
The Jungle Book was made in a soundstage in LA, but the CGI is so good that everything feels real. The movie is a joy to watch, and they improve upon the original in every way. There are less annoying characters, the dialogue is more sophisticated, Shere Khan is awesome, and by God, some of these shots, I mean, yes, this is all CGI, but it's still beautiful. Only real problem with this movie is that it had a lot of cliches, like the misunderstanding.
But I'm helping Baloo get ready for hibernation.
Bears don't hibernate in a jungle. What are you teaching him?
Not full hibernation, but I nap a lot.
Or the I was near my goal, but then I turned around. Great movie, gets an 8 out of 10.
Captain Rogers, I know you believe what you're doing is right. But for the collective good, you must surrender now.
Civil War completes the Captain America trilogy, yet it feels more like an Avengers movie. Every character gets to shine in this movie, even Ant-Man. The movie is great, but it feels like another Marvel movie, and I'm kinda starting to feel the Marvel fatigue. But as long as they deliver good movies, I won't complain. This movie has one major problem, and that is that the action is for the most part very bad, with shaky cam, unnecessary shots, and a lot of weird CGI effects going wild, especially in the chase scene. This movie also gets an 8 out of 10.
After our business is concluded, what then?
There'll still be a lot of men after your hide.
And that should give me comfort.
Should. I won't be one of them.
The Magnificent Seven is directed by Antoine Fuqua, an established action director, and he delivers the good stuff. The dialogue in this movie is great, the plot is great, I liked a lot of the characters, the music was beautiful, the cinematography was spot on. I mean, look at this! But the thing that puts this movie over the other ones is the action. The geography of every fight is well established, and I was never confused to where anybody was going or what they were doing. Nothing is in close-ups, so we can see everything. There's great banter between the characters throughout these fights, and the sound editing is amazing. My true problems with this movie are that even though the villain is good, he's not in it enough, and that the action drags a lot. I mean, the final fight is like 40 minutes. It's good, but way too long. This movie gets a 9 out of 10.
You ain't never seen a soldier like me. 1, 2, 3, I'm a vigilante. 4, 5, 6, kiss that ass goodbye. When I pull the gun, then somebody gotta die.
You're gonna do superhero landing. Wait for it. Woo! Superhero landing. Yeah, that's really hard on your knees. Totally impractical. They all do it.
Deadpool was a funny, original movie that I absolutely loved. Again, there's a review on my channel of this movie, but it's not a good review. I don't know if it's still up even. So go and watch the podcast I did on this movie. That one is even worse. 9 out of 10.
Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne.
A lot of people are hating on the newest Bourne movie, saying that it's not original, and to them I say, have you seen the other Bourne movies? They're basically just the same story trying to look cooler each time, and this one was the best in my opinion. Matt Damon was great as Jason Bourne, Tommy Lee Jones was great as the villain, and Alicia Vikander brought new life to this series by not being a damsel in distress. The action is great, even though it's shaky cam with fast cuts. Instead of hiding that the actors are horrible at fighting, this shaky cam wants you to focus on exactly the thing that is visible in that moment. It gives you information, then cuts to give you more information. It doesn't hide anything, it enhances your awareness. My only problem is that they try to do something with Jason Bourne's dad, and, well, I'm sure nobody cares about what's happened to his dad. This one gets a 10 out of 10.